Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Surprise Thursday. Surprise, Transformers are now on Thursday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we have on the top, Decepticon logo, Venin Takaratomi, the thing that hooks onto the pig hook. And then here we have some information, more than meets the eye, and this Autobot symbol for some reason on here, but it transforms in 17 steps from robot to bug. 8 and up. Then we've got some nice artwork over here of Venin in both modes. Transformers, Age of the Primes, and Decepticon logo and Venin. This is the first Age of the Primes figure that I've gotten. So Hasbro print on the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and includes figure in 2 pieces, and also in some other languages. Now on this side, the stripe from the front comes around to the side, Age of the Primes, Transformers, Decepticon logo and Venin. And then here we have some nice artwork of him in his robot mode, but it's a close-up, and he's in outer space. And on this side it says, "Till all are one." And there it is, again, in some other languages. And then, you know, a partial picture of the 13 Primes there, Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class. Then on the back, we've got what I'm guessing is a digital render, Decepticon logo Venin, because he's an Insecticon, who are Decepticons. And then he transforms in 17 steps, and you can see in the background here some of the Primes logos, same logos it looks like to me that they used in Power of the Primes. So here he is in robot mode, here he is in bug mode, and here he is using a weapon. More than meets the eye authentically. And then here we have small, fine, legalese, made in Vietnam print. Warning, attention, Octung, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Some more symbols I'm not going to learn. A barcode, assortment numbers if you need that kind of thing, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure in his alt mode and his accessories. And first accessory up is the handy dandy instruction manual. And here's what it looks like on the inside. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing because, you know, you guys don't need to see that. If you're going to buy it, you'll see the whole thing anyway. So here's what it looks like on the inside. Pretty clear or concise instructions on transforming the figure. The images are nice and clear, no blurring. You know, still using that same paper for Age of the Primes as they've been using for a while. Decepticon Venin. It's a nice illustration of the character. Transformers, Age of the Primes, 8 and up, and then small, fine, legalese print all over it. Now, here I've got my tweezers. And they're handy dandy, too. And we'll take a look at his accessories. Here we have some kind of axe-type bladed doodad. So it's got, you know, it doesn't have a ton of molded details on it, but you can tell that, you know, it's an axe head at least. And it does have, you know, some scarring and pitting on the blade itself, and then a little bit of molded details in there, and then this post right here. And then next up we have his blaster. I like the color. It looks like there's a little bit of paint on it too, or else it's molded in more than one piece. So very nice looking. If I can hold on to it. So cool. And you know, like the waffling where it is, they put some molded details in, and again, like this is a different color than this, so you know, that's pretty cool. It's got a port on the end, which I'm guessing goes with this. And now it's a full axe instead of just an axe head and a gun. So, chopping broccoli. So, there's that. We'll talk about storage for this stuff in just a second. In fact, let's just go ahead and talk about it now and get it out of the way. So, in his alt mode, he's got a port here and a port over here that these posts just fit into. And you can do it, you know, swap sides if you want, whatever the case may be. So, you know, storage in bug mode, that's always important. So let's take a look at the insect itself, which I believe is supposed to be a cicada. So looking at it from the top view, he's got a Decepticon logo there. He's got a little bit of paint apps across the top here. Nice translucent color for the wings, and there's also some ports here, which I guess you could spread the wings and put the stuff back here if you wanted to. Maybe not though, because of the axe. The gun, you probably could. So, and then let's go ahead and spread this back out. And we can kind of look. You know, he's got a segmented tail section, so you know, pretty cool. Color wise, I wouldn't say this looks much like a cicada, but you know, they're not usually this bright and colored. So the side view looks pretty good as well. And again, there's that segmented tail. It's got some paint apps along this side and a tampo down here, and same thing on the other side as well. So the forward view, this is where we get kind of funky, and I'll get to this in the transformation, but this is his visor, and I don't know why they didn't figure out a way to cover that up like they did with some of the others. But here's the bug eyes on either side, those bulbous protrusions, and you know, I have to say that what cicada eyes look like. And then he has I guess a proboscis right here, but it only, you know, it's weird. It faces down like that, and I'm not sure if I don't think they face down like that, but I've never actually looked at the mouth parts of a cicada that close. So here we'll take a look at the bottom. He's got 2, 4, 6 legs, and they're on ball hinges, so you know, they twist and they move up and down some. So that's pretty good. Then, like I showed before, the wings are on hinges, and they're also on a swivel right here. So that is also cool. And they tab in the bug mode. There's an open slot right here, and then there's a tab on the wing, and they just tab in there and close up together like that. So all in all, I have to say, you know, for the most part, this is the only part of the bug mode that bothers me, is that the robot visor is just like out there. They didn't even attempt to hide it. This is probably my least favorite head transformation for an Insecticon, even though, you know, they all kind of do this, but most of the other ones found a way to cover the actual robot face up. And you know, if they'd have just covered the visor up, to me that would have been better than just leaving it like that. So I don't know, the design team seems like they're taking it easy on some things. But there you have it, my friends. That's a look at the figure and accessories in alt mode. It's time for alt mode comparisons, and here we have Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin with Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Kickback, Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Bombshell, and Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Shrapnel. Here we have Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin, with from the Target exclusive Transformers Legacy Creatures Collide 4-pack, the Deluxe Class Ransack, from the Amazon exclusive Transformers Legacy United Doom and Destruction Collection Mayhem Attack Squad, Deluxe Class Chop Shop, and Deluxe Class Barrage. For our last set of alt mode comparisons, here we have Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin, with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee, and the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the comedy portion of our program where I attempt to transform this Transformer. So, I've done this once, so let's see if I can remember how to do it. So, you lift the head up. This piece, it looks like stays up like that, perhaps. No, I think maybe it goes down like that. So, but either way, it's kind of protruding there. So then you want to untab the arms, and they have this big old block right here that fits in this area right here. So there's that. And then they also pull out here at the shoulders. Trying to get the legs out of the way a little bit. And then we'll see if we can free up this other arm. There we go. And then we'll fix the shoulder back. And then the arms are kind of hinged in on a double hinged. So you just kind of straighten them out. And you can see it's hinged here and here. And then the hands flip up. And do the same thing over here on this side. And hands flip up. So we'll flip the wings up out of the way for just a minute. We'll work on this part right here, which are the legs eventually. And these pieces right here, they're hinged right here. They flip up. And then you can untab it here. You can see the tabs right here and here. And there's slots that match them on the opposite side. So once you do that, you can flip the legs down. These pieces flip up or down depending on how you're looking at it, I suppose. And straighten up like that. And you can see they fit in right there. And then you can turn them straight. These parts right here turn into his feet. And you flip. Well, that piece doesn't want to flip, so handy dandy tweezers being handy. So there you have that. And then the other side's pretty much the same, so that, you know, fits up in there. Turn this around. Flip this in. Flip the toes out. Let's see, I have to look at the instructions real quick to see how the legs go. The legs go down. So, all the legs go down, and they'll lay flat like that. You just you know, start with these being down all the way, these up a little bit, and these all the way as far as they'll go up, and they'll fold down neatly like that. The wings, not as much. So they just kind of flip around like this, which I don't particularly like, but that is what it is, I suppose. And then the neck here is on a double joint, one at the head, one at the base, and it just kind of folds in like that. And well, I was going to say accessories, but we don't really have to do them as part of the transformation, do we? Nope. All right, there we have it, my friends. The figure all transformed. Let's center him up. There we go. Let's take a look at the figure in his robot mode and his accessories. So first up, let's just move the accessories out of the way for a minute, because we've already looked at those as far as what they look like and what they do. Not necessarily how they go with this figure, but we'll look at that in a minute. Let's take a look at the figure in his robot mode first off. And I have to say, I do like the robot head. I kind of wish, like when he was in insect mode, how they would hide the visor. I wish the eyes would also kind of be hidden, but maybe that helps him look around in robot mode. I don't know. So the biggest disappointment in this figure are these wings. That just the way that they did it feels a bit lazy. I know most people like me probably keep them in insect mode, or Insecticons, that is, in insect mode. But still, I just kind of feel that's a bit of a lazy design. I'm not 100% familiar with this character, so maybe that's just how he's supposed to look and I'm missing something, but honestly, it feels very, very lazy design-wise. So I don't know exactly what's going on. Now, as far as his decos go, you know, they're pretty much the same as what we discussed in the insect mode. And then another thing I'm not really happy about is these feet hinges. They stand out, and again, it just feels like lazy design there. And I don't know, maybe there's something going on that I don't know about, that they had to do it that way, but just from my knowledge of Transformers, that just feels like a very lazy design. Because I'm pretty sure I did it right. So those are the two big issues for me. Again, the deco in the robot mode is pretty much what we discussed in the bug mode or insect mode. Now, this is something that I didn't see in insect mode. He's got a silver paint app there on both sides. But other than that, you know, it's the same. So let's take a look at his articulation. With his neck in place like it's supposed to be, he can look up that high. He doesn't really look down. He can do the full exorcist. No real waggle or chicken neck. So at the shoulders, is it out all the way? I don't know. There it is. So at the shoulder, he does have a 360 degree rotation. He can lift his arm up approximately 90 degrees. Right above the elbow, there's a cut for another 360 degree rotation. He does have a double hinged elbow, but it's only double hinged backwards. So forward, he gives you not quite 90 degrees. And then he's got a little bit of tilt in his wrist due to transformation. No rotation or anything like that. And I want to say there's a waist rotation, but because of the insect legs kind of get in the way of that, you know, it's hard to get a full 360 degrees out of it. But you can just move the legs up and back and forward, and all of that good stuff. So he can give you the full split, so that's really good. He kicks forward approximately 90 degrees and backwards a little better than 90 degrees, it looks like. So that's really good. On a mushroom peg at the upper thigh, a double mushroom peg, as a matter of fact, he does give you a full 360 degrees of rotation. He does have a single hinge knee, and it will give you that much bend in robot mode. When you're transforming him, it's a little bit more. And then at the feet, he's got some toe tilt just due to transformation. The foot moves forward and back like this, and then because of this transformation ugly hinge here, he has all of the rocker inside, none to the outside though. So and now we'll get back to his weapons. So again, you know, you can put them together like this to form a full axe, and he can hold it in his hand by the barrel. So that's, you know, that's not bad. He can hold both weapons in his hands. As so. And then I want to say you can, well, you might have to fold the hand in, and you can peg that in like that, and then the wrist totally unpegs there, but you can put it on like that as well, and the wrist unpegging, not a big deal, it just pegs back in. There we go. Easy peasy. And then the gun, not so much with the axe, but the gun could probably go in either one of these when not in use as well, if that's something you wanted to do. Well, there you have it, my friends. I'll look at the figure and his accessories and storage in robot mode. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, robot mode comparisons. And here we have Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin with Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Kickback, Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Bombshell, and Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Shrapnel. Here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin with, from the Target exclusive Transformers Legacy Creatures Collide 4-pack Deluxe Class Ransack, from the Amazon exclusive Transformers Legacy United Doom and Destruction Collection Mayhem Attack Squad Deluxe Class Chop Shop, and Deluxe Class Barrage. For our last set of robot mode comparisons, here we have Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For final thoughts on the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Venin, I have to say, I think now now have completed the Insecticon team, I hope. And, you know, this guy's robot mode is growing on me a little bit. I still think that there should have been something going on with the wings. I don't really like how they sit. Other than that, you know, the bulbous eyes on the sides of the robot head. I mean, it's okay, but I kind of wish they'd have like hinged in or something to be hidden. And in the insect mode, the same thing. I just kind of wish that the visor for the robot mode was hidden. Other than that, you know, I think it's a pretty good robot mode. I think it's a really good insect mode. And the colors, I don't know that I've ever seen a cicada those colors before, but, you know, he's a robot from another planet, so... Well, I guess we'll cut him a little bit of slack. Now, yeah, the insides of the arms, insides of the legs, you know, a little bit hollow, but mainline transformer. I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for it, but, you know, just pretty much that's what they're going to give us for mainline transformers. Studio Series gets a little bit better treatment, I think, than regular mainline, but not always. Sometimes I think it just depends on what class that they put this in, but I think this guy fits in nicely with the rest of my Insecticons, and which of course he won't be in robot mode in my display. He'll be in insect mode. Insecticons are like Dinobots. What most people would say are their alt modes, to me are their primary modes. So that's just me. But overall, I think this is a pretty good Transformer. Seeing as how I didn't buy very many Transformers this year, I'm to the point with my collection that I'm just trying to fill in holes that I feel need to be filled. I know that's a lot of... Anyway, so I'm just trying to fill holes in my Transformers collection at this point. Working on the last few deluxe class mini bots at this point. I did pass on the 4-pack with Bumper, so unless they offer him later on down the line as an individual release, which I doubt, then, you know, but that's okay too. I'm not the biggest fan of that Studio Series 86 Bumblebee mold. I like the Netflix Walmart mold better. I think it fits the character better. And, you know, again, that's my opinion. Your mileage may vary. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.